All right, Mr. Paul Brown, we're live, and it's
Yes.
beautiful. It's a beautiful Monday. The
It's every
spring.
Monday is beautiful. That means we survived Sunday.
Yeah, well,
So
I'll
it's
tell you
always
what.
beautiful.
Well, I was in Nashville over the weekend, so I was in
I
Nashville.
know.
It was one of those situations too where it was not my weekend with the kids, but Anna Lee had dance competition on Sunday, and her first dance wasn't till 1 p.m. So, like the mature adult, I decided to go down a few days early on Friday and hang out with friends on Broadway Friday, Saturday. Then I went, so this week it was filled with running, listen to a lot of music. We'll say that. But
That's good because you need some of that to offset it. Because I was a dance dad myself, like you, and that is a whole lot of sitting around and waiting for your kid to have their 3 minutes on stage.
yeah,
You got to watch a bunch of kids that you don't know, and honestly, you don't really care that much about. But you sit through it so that you can watch your kids do their thing for 3 minutes, and
yeah,
it's just like it's the longest days ever.
yeah. But it's worth it because you know what, my
Oh,
baby
totally.
Anna, my firstborn, I mean, she's brilliant. She loves it. So, here's what, real quick, Paul and I, we just finished our weekly staff meeting. We had some good stuff we've been sharing with a lot of our stores. And at the end of the day, it's about bringing value. I almost feel we spend so much time marketing and trying to sell that sometimes we lose sight of value. It's about bringing value to the market. And today, Paul and I, what we're going to do is we're going to share just a handful. We got 5 really good best practices. In this video, there's going to be some people watching live. Like we'll get some people, shouldn't be a lot, right? I mean, it's Monday. A lot of us, are at work right now, but some of us are working from home, just kind of watching on the live. But there's going to be a lot of people watching on the repeat. And what we're
Mhm.
going to do is we're just going to share a handful of really great best practices to help you enhance your F&I operations. Paul and I just were talking about training. Like Paul and I both train jujitsu. Now, I'm a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Paul's a 4-stripe blue belt that will be a purple belt. Our guide, our blueprint is road to F&I black belt. Why do we do that? It makes us unique, but it's training is not something that we did. It's something that we must do. And we like to instill our martial arts into what we do in our training. Because at the end of the day, training, we look at this right here. Like we look at training as training camp. Fights aren't won. Paul, where are fights won? Are fights won in the ring?
In
Or are they won
camp,
in training camp?
your 12-week camp.
It's that relentless training, the cardio, the cutting out the social life, the dieting, all these things that you do 10 and 12 weeks before the fight or how you win that fight. And so I make that statement to my sales professionals in the market, F&I, my general managers, even dealers, like we should continue to grow. We should continue to sharpen the blade. What we do in private makes itself known in public. I'm going to start with number 1 here real quick. Number 1 tip for my F&I ninjas is to understand your F&I products at the professional level, not at the F&I manager level. Because if you understand your F&I products at the F&I manager level, you're kind of like average. We're professionals, okay? You need to know everything about everything that you sell. And here's one thing you can do. I'm going to share a technique that you can do. This is a 12-week homework assignment. Okay, I want you to truly understand what goes on in your service department, and then I want you to understand the language on your contracts so you can offset situations in service. Get to know what's going on in your service department and find out what's actually being repaired and who's paying for it. Collect ROs and then understand your F&I products in great detail and be able to have a casual conversation with customers and why they should invest in some F&I products. That's number 1. Number 2, Paul, take it from there.
Number two is you got to have a really robust process, and you got to follow that thing like it is the absolute gospel. Because processes don't fail people, people fail processes. And what ends up happening is we have a process of things that we do every single time when we're with a customer. We get a lot of things, right? We get customers that are more comfortable. We're more comfortable because we know what every step is going to be. We don't have to hem and haw in front of a customer. We don't have to wing it. And what ends up happening is when we have a good, robust process, everything gets faster, right? Everything gets faster. And one of the things that we hear in stores all the time right now is our dealer partners are saying, how do we get speed to customer? How do we get to the customer quicker so that they don't feel like they're waiting and customers aren't aggravated by the process? Because here, we don't mind waiting as human beings if we know what we're waiting for, if we know what's supposed to happen next. But if we can get to the customer really quickly, and then get through the transaction quickly with that customer, the customer just has a better experience, right? Everything flows well. And that's the time is the one thing. And I used to always tell this to my salespeople when they were working with a customer. Time will kill your deal, right? Time kills all deals, and time erodes growth so quickly. So every time that we have to make a customer wait, every time that we have to get up and leave the customer to do something, it takes away from the experience with the customer, and then it takes away from our growth, most importantly. So we got to have a good process. We got to get to the customer quickly and let them know exactly what that process is. So our process also should be really, really transparent. So the customer, from the second they walk in, they should know, okay, we're going to do this and this and this and this. It should be very linear. And if they know what's coming, then they'll feel more comfortable about being in the process themselves.
Amen to that. Good stuff. The third key takeaway of this quick live is, write this down because this is important. The sales manager is the F&I manager's best friend. There's nothing more truthful than that statement. And you got to understand that you guys, the desk and the F&I department has this incredible relationship. It could either be really good or it could be really bad. I've seen a lot of really bad, and let me tell you right now, as an F&I professional, we need to go out of our way to serve our sales managers. A couple things I did at my store every single morning. I had one of the best desk guys on the planet. Okay. I'll give him a shout out. His name's Pete Pierce, one of the best desk guys to ever walk the earth. Every morning I would sit down with him. Pete, what do you got today? Can I make some manager callbacks on your behalf? Do you have any deals coming in scheduled today that I can prep and have ready to go? Oh, by the way, Mr. Sales Manager, hey, Pete, do you need to run to the bank at lunch? Do you want to get out of here? I'll sit your chair for you. Right? I offer to serve my sales manager because guess what? When the customer wants to pay cash, they're not running to the bank to grab their check. Pete's time out. Whoop, let's get Adam involved. Pete's not clipping me on every deal. Pete's getting me involved early. That relationship was just beautiful. So understand that. Maybe you're in a store right now where the desk, maybe you don't have the greatest relationship. Well, just take baby steps. Start increasing communication. Increase communication. Be willing as an F&I person, and Paul will talk about this here in a minute, be willing to get involved a little bit earlier in the transaction. Remember, the sales manager is the F&I manager's best friend. We have to continue to foster and build that relationship, and communication is everything. Paul, I don't want to steal your thunder on getting involved. Go ahead, take it.
F&I managers have to get involved in the process early, and not just, we talk about getting involved in the transaction early. Get involved in the process early, right? Because before a deal is ever made a deal, there's an entire process that happens and hopefully is happening the same with every salesperson. But so when I talk to F&I managers, I say, you just need to get involved early. And they're like, well, what do you mean? So I should go out like right when they make a deal and talk to the customer? Yes, you should do that. You should reset the clock and set time expectations what are going to happen before that. But the other thing that you should be doing is being a politician and walking around and shaking hands and kissing babies. I mean, maybe, I don't know if you want to kiss babies, but you're out talking to people before they even make a deal. Salesperson gets up to go get a set of numbers. They get up to go get a trade appraised. They get up to go get a car to demo for this customer. Walk up and introduce yourself to the customer. Let them know who you are, what you're going to do. Hopefully you're going to be meeting them soon. You're just here to serve them. Offer them a soft drink. Welcome them to your home, right? Get involved that early. And they say, and then they go, okay, so I need to get involved before this. So when we have customers, get involved real. Yeah, okay, but we can get involved earlier than that. Like you said earlier, talking to your sales manager, getting involved, talking to your salespeople, saying, who can I call for you today and help get a customer back in? Who did you maybe have that you were close to on making a deal this week? And maybe there was a rate objection or a term objection or a price objection. Who can I call to help serve you, Mr. Salesperson, and get you involved? Because that's an unselfish thing, right? As servant leaders, we should just be doing that. But at some level, it's kind of selfish because if I help that salesperson get a customer and sell another car, I get another swing, right? Yeah. I get another opportunity to make money. So we need to get involved really early in everything. And here, this is what I tell my salespeople or my F&I professionals. I tell them, if you're not submitting a deal, if you're not working on CITs, or you're not preparing to bring a customer in your office, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be in your office. You should be out talking to customers. You should be sitting at the desk with your sales managers, just saying, hey, maybe on this deal, maybe let's look at this term, not this term. Let's look at this rate, right? This structure. maybe that's not going to work. Maybe we need to switch car, and help them early, get involved, because you're the one that's going to, at the end, have to button it all up. And what happens is, if you're sitting there, you're going to get a whole lot less of those deals right now where they come in, they go, we need 145%. And you know that that's not even an option with today's structures. So being involved early, just when the salespeople are starting their day, and getting them ramped up and spending 5 minutes with them and giving them a little bit of knowledge, that's getting involved early. That's what we should be doing.
Love it. You know, and the final key takeaway of this live broadcast is retention is our ultimate goal. You know, we were trained when I started doing F&I long time ago, you know, in the early 2000s, you know, the name of the game was hit them high, look them in the eye, and watch them buy. You know, I mean, it was just so different. Like, I mean, we were never really trained to serve people back in the day. Now the business has changed, and it's all about the customer. It's about transparency. It's about serving people. And I love the direction we're headed in this industry. It's much better than when we started, right? I mean, we've been doing this a long time, Paul. But at the end of the day, now what we have to focus on is retention. And as F&I professionals, that's the focus, is we need to make sure we're offering the right products that happily engage the customer in our service department. We need to make sure that we're running the highest penetrations on prepaid maintenance and service contract. You know, we have other additional F&I products today that have more value than they've ever had before. You know, some of these products that we have today, I wouldn't even think about selling 2 decades ago, but we have some really wonderful products. And so remember, the name of the game is retention. If we do all the things right, we follow our process, the speed to transactions there, and we're helping our customer, we give them time expectations, and we're treating them like they're a guest in our home. First of all, the objections when they come, they come. They're much easier to handle because we're having a casual conversation, and we can use logic and facts and common sense. And like Paul, you talk about all the time, it's all about math. You know, we can talk about math at a much higher level when the customer likes us and they trust us and we follow our process. So remember something, at the end of the day, it's about getting our customer happily engaged in service. I'll say this, Paul, on this note, what does F&I really do? F&I keeps the dealership compliant. We make a profit. We serve and help people. That's key. Serve and help people. But here's the magic for dealer principals. Here's what the dealer principal wants to hear. Okay. The GM wants to hear this, is because here's what F&I is really here to do. We sell cars. We're to help facilitate the transaction, complete the transaction, and happily engage customers in service departments. So the service department can then send them back to our sales department. And we can repeat that over and over again. And that's what we're here to do. So hopefully you all found some value in what Paul and I shared today. We're going to make a commitment to do this more often. We've had a lot of people reaching out to us, go live, and life gets in the way. Paul's on a plane almost every day, but we're going to make a better effort to kind of slow down a little bit and give more information. For those that want to work with Paul and I in person, we're hosting a mini boot camp here at F&I Immersion in July. And in June, we're going to be down in Atlanta at the Pinnacle Training Center with Mr. Jonathan Dawson. So we're going to be down in Atlanta in June, St. Louis in July. If you want more information, reach out to Paul or myself. And Paul, I appreciate you spending some time with me this morning. I know you have a meeting that started 1 minute ago. So guys, we'll end on that note. Have a great rest of your day, guys.
Have a great day.